Where are you
You
living
look.
in Jersey?
No, I stay in Astoria, Queens when I'm in New York City. I head there this weekend, but I'm in Cleveland, Ohio right now. But we're live now. Welcome, Rock Bottom Podcast. The great, the legendary Fred Stoller. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. So is this like what's his name?
Is this like
Kevin's
Brennan's?
with there's three random people.
No, there'll be I mean we'll get some chatters that are in here and stuff, but I go on random times, so it's not as
Okay.
and Kevin's is a little more I mean, I'll get some super chats, but his is like he'll get a steady flow of super chats or whatever. But for the viewers out there don't know, Fred Stoller, a legendary comedian. I'm gonna call you a legend, buddy. You're one of my favorites when I was growing up.
Wow.
Not to date you.
Oh, I'm dated. It's too late.
Oh, it's too late. You've been dated?
Where'd you grow up, in Ohio?
I grew up in Ohio. I grew up in Cleveland.
So now, when people, you see, again, I'm old generation. With me, my thing was you did New York or San Francisco, Boston. Then you'd come to LA to hope to get into a pilot or a sitcom or writing. But people, that's not the template, if that's the word anymore. People just can live anywhere, just develop their act and have podcasts. Is that what it is now?
Well, I think that's the thing now. Like now it's like more an online thing, which me being like an older guy now, like yeah, that's the best. But I mean, I had my time in the industry. Like you've done a lot of sitcoms. I was on 8 episodes of the Jim Gaffigan show, and I got Jim Gaffigan.
The one I remember, was it the one with, he always says, what's his name in it? Michael Ian Black, that one, and Adam Goldberg?
Yeah, Adam Goldberg. Yeah. Adam Goldberg.
I didn't see it, but that was on TV Land. I remember.
It was on TV Land, and then they reran it on Comedy Central. But here's the thing, like, I don't know what happened, but like he took it completely off the air. So there's like no residuals. So like
he took it, he had the power to?
I don't know what, but it's not on anything anymore. He only ran it for 2 years.
So you went the route of like New York and auditioning and all that.
I did. I never got anything auditioning. I wrote for Comedy Central's Adam TV, and I got that because Tina, who worked at Comedy Central, and she would go to a show that I hosted, Sacapuntas, like had me write sketches because she saw these web videos I did. And then I got MTV Guy Code. I did some writing for them because my buddy MTV had a show called Guy Code, and I did some stuff for them. But all that stuff I got is because someone I knew hit me up and asked me if I wanted to do it.
Same thing sort of with me.
Never got anything from an audition, ever.
I've had some from auditions, but many of them were predetermined, like someone recommended me, or usually it's someone I worked with, someone had me in mind. I don't fit into puzzles, you know. I know when I'm wasting my time. So let me ask you a question. This is interesting. When did you get to the point where you said, I'm just going on the road, or I'm not going this writing, acting route anymore? Or maybe you are.
No. Well, for me, like, I mean, I started in Cleveland, and I became like a feature act pretty quickly. And a buddy of mine, Jesse Joyce, he moved to New York City. He's from Pittsburgh. I was like one of the better comics in Cleveland. He was one of the better ones in Pittsburgh. And he like made me move to New York. Well, he's like, you got to come to New York. But I would still do the road. And I wasn't ready for New York because I was a road comic. I did road jokes. It wasn't like New York style. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, as road you started in New York, which I think that could be a good thing. But
well, like, I think I talked about this with Kevin, but I mean, a long time ago, yeah, even I started probably before there was a road. It was just a few just weekend jobs before the comedy boom of the 80s hit. And it kind of messed me up because you could luckily just make a quasi living, not a great living, but you could get by doing, I would say, New Jersey, Long Island, Connecticut, once in a while college, these 20-minute spots. And when you did these spots, I don't know where to look. I mean, whatever. You could kind of do not the same material, but just like these one-liners. We were in the era where it was about your Tonight Show spot, maybe get a late night Letterman spot, and then the evening at the Improvs. So it's about having material, 6-minute all one-liners kind of. And I did well, sort of okay, because you're on the lineup with other people and someone comes on after you. And you could do these weird, morbid, non sequitur one-liners. Right. But then when you did the road and headline 45 to an hour, I had to water my act down because you kind of had to work the room or acknowledge you're in a different place or,
what people don't understand, the road could be like a lot of like pep rally work.
Yes, exactly.
It's almost like it's more like a pep rally, and that's where I started, where it's more like a pep rally type.
Yeah.
And then you get to New York and realize like, oh no, it's more like.
That's right, and I think my act was much more clever when I was just in New York. And
oh, exactly. That's what New York does to you. That's what New York.
But then when I had to go the road, I had to throw out so many jokes that just wouldn't work. These subtle one-liners, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the road. I didn't want a headline. I didn't like doing long sets. It was, especially as the stuff they call the check spot, an act like me. I didn't love it. It's not what I want to do. But yes, so that's my chronology.
By the way, that's still how a lot of clubs on the road are. By the way, like you get up and you headline, you're 10 minutes into your act, and it's a 25-minute check drop. Like,
yeah,
you get up there, you start getting the crowd going, and then it's like, here's your checks, and it's like 30 minutes of who's not paying a check. I'm going to pay attention to you 10 over here. All right, now you're getting the check.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to you guys that haven't got the check, and it's.
I never loved stand up enough to, I know there's a lot of guys like Gary Goldman, Colin Quinn, who came to L.A. The late Greg Giraldo. Then said, screw this. They love doing, 5 sets a night and love just stand up, and said, screw it to just, auditioning and acting. But, that's the thing just went off. It goes power off. But I just wanted to be a character actor. I got into stand up kind of, I didn't know how you broke into, I just loved character actors growing up. And there was no such thing as a term, a comedy nerd. So I just
I'm a comedy nerd. That's how I know you. That's why you stuck out. I remember you like when I was a teenager. Like I thought everyone knew like these HBO young comedian specials.
Oh no,
and
stuff.
Now no one did. No one else knew.
Like if I say hi to Jim Norton, he acts like I'm some homeless guy that got out of rehab. Like whatever, dude, go away. Like very few from that generation know who I am. I don't care. I think it's funny. I mean, Bobby Lee was nice, but all right, I don't want to go for the negative, but he was very nice. But yeah, it's just like, but I never. They didn't have stand-ups. Well, they had maybe George Carlin, but I just wanted to be I don't know what I just thought that could be a world for me. I didn't know how you broke in to sit. I love sitcom character actors and quirky guys in movies. So then I heard about, there's a place called the Improv in New York. And if you do your Jimmy Walker, Freddie Prinze, they did their act and they got on the Tonight Show. And then they got on a sitcom. I go, that's all I have to do. So I didn't want to be a comedian. It wasn't my dream, but I would just hang out at the Improv thinking I'd get discovered. And then I just developed an act because, my head was down. I didn't want to look at the audience and just did weird one-liners. Like I said.
An example for the people watching, we have people watching, an example of a joke of yours, like I wasn't that close to my mother growing up. So I said to her the other day, I said, Mrs. Stoller.
Yeah. That actually almost remained. There were other weird jokes. I don't know why I did these more. My cousin killed himself because nobody would play with him. He hung himself from a pole in his backyard. Now people play with him. I mean, but those, when I did the road, I couldn't do those weird, out of context jokes. But yes, so that's what
Plus,
happened.
you always had that character, I'm out of control. You can't stop me.
That came maybe.
I drank milk. It expired yesterday. Yeah. I don't care. You can't stop me.
That wasn't right away. That came a few years into it. And even that was. On the road, I do a few of those jokes, and I couldn't keep doing them through the whole act on the road. but yeah, just it was again. I always just wanted to be discovered, or something brought me to LA, and not be in that stand-up world forever. It's just I admire those people that love it, that are my age and do every open mic, but that wasn't me. I used to just love getting the light that I could get off.
Brock Lee's here for you. He's only here for Freddie says. He's a fan
Thank
of
you.
yours.
Broccoli.
Brock, he's just a guy that.
Is that a joke, broccoli?
No, that's his name. That's his screen name. It's not his real name. A lot of these people, yeah. Put it this way: whoever this guy is, his real name is not Easy123. I'm assuming. I'm assuming Mumble Slam is not his real name. I'm assuming Affy's not his real name. Like, yeah. But so the young, like, I was listening to your podcast with Marin. I want to hear a couple stories, dude. So you wrote for a year on Seinfeld. What
yeah. That was just like I knew Larry David from New York. He's like 11 years older than me, but he was part of the clubs. And oh yeah, a surprise birthday party for this comedian and good friend of mine, Steve Scrovan. And he was just like at the time they were eating up and spitting out a lot of 80s stand-ups from New York, and it's just kind of a fluke. Why don't you write a spec script? Nothing will happen, but I will read it. And that kind of led to a season on the show where I wrote a Kindle single called My Seinfeld Year about writing on it.
Yeah, what was that like? And another story I want to ask you about, like, so you only did it for 1 year. Was there something that happened, like you didn't like it, or?
Oh no, I wasn't brought back. They were doing that with a lot. That's what the book is about. My Seinfeld Year. I just didn't fit in. It was just very isolating. You were on your own. There was no table. You had to just pitch for and vie for stage time. And I can't. This is a stupid thing. So I guess I'm not. There's a lot of things not my thing. I always talk about this guy Mike Rowe from my generation, not Mike Rowe, some TV guy, but he dreamed of the Dick Van Dyke sitting around a table and being a comedy writer. Now that was even a profession. Now people go to Harvard Lampoon and they know the route. You know, I wasn't looking to be a sitcom writer. I mean, here at my age, I have this apartment, not a house, and there was money. But I just, you just had to find Larry. It was like Spinal Tap, track him down, go through halls, try to get him. You know.
So you would write something, and you couldn't get him to look at it.
No. Well, he would close his door, rewriting, casting on the floor, editing, and there wasn't a table. You were on your own. No one was really helping you out. It wasn't like most normal sitcoms, so you had to.
I never wrote for a sitcom. And by the way, the stuff I wrote for Guy Code is more like they just gave you stuff to do, and you just gave your jokes.
No, you were on your own, and you couldn't start something until Larry approved of it, and no one's helping you. There was no room. Everyone's trying to work on their own stories. It's like a homicide division where everyone is solving murders, but their own. They shut the door. It was really isolating and weird. And so I would try to.
Well, I hate to say it, Fred. I think the formula worked. It's the most successful.
No, it worked for them. But
I think the formula worked out pretty good for Seinfeld.
No,
whatever they did.
They were. It worked out for them. No, that's what I said. But yeah. I tried out lots of jokes. I mean bits, but let me summarize. Maybe I sucked. Okay, I don't.
No, you don't suck. Yeah. Fred was great. Well, Leo gonna like you. He says you were great on Seinfeld, so he likes you.
Oh no, that was the acting on it, but the writing. Yeah, you just come up with Jerry, Elaine, George stories, and it wasn't for me. I mean, it was mutual, but more the I remember my last day, I cleaned out my office. They said, "Hey, thanks for having me." To Jerry and Larry, yeah, good. You know, it wasn't homey, but it worked for them.
Well,
You know, maybe this is traumatic.
I met
I
Jerry
sucked.
Seinfeld.
I got yelled at. I got thrown out a window. No, I'm just kidding. I failed.
But
No.
like I don't know Jerry Seinfeld well at all. I've just done shows with him where I've like just seen him in passing. I don't know. He seems like a distant dude. Like he seems very distant, and I'm like, I never felt like, oh, I should like say anything to him.
Oh yeah, when I would pitch an idea to Jerry and Larry, they would stand there, or they'll sit there, and they, like, you know, I talked about with Kevin, like Larry would say, "How does someone like you buy a shirt? I can't picture you buying a shirt." Or Jerry would say, "You always hit the same mark." So they just observe me like I'm this weirdo, like this street person that wandered in, and like, the hell's with this guy? Like,
But that's also the comics and comics. Like when I look at people, do you get what I'm saying? Like that's just the comics in us. Like you look at someone and you're like, you know?
Yeah, they're observant. They're observant. First time I knew Jerry from New York. Then I moved to here and I bumped into him at Cantor's, and he points to me to his friend. He goes, "This is me in a funhouse mirror," insinuating I'm a funny looking version of him. So I guess he makes observation. Yeah, I saw some, you know, on YouTube, which I got to stay off YouTube because I thought you seem like a good guy. And what I like about Kevin is he might be, you know, angry and right wing and all that stuff, but
I don't think it's right wing. I think he's just angry. I think
but it doesn't make it this whole thing like all these comics. All they talk about masks and cancel culture and owning the libs. I think it's like my when I used to do the thrill seeker jokes. I said that. I don't care. I'm a badass. I'm in on the joke. I'm a moron. They're like saying that. I said that. I don't care. I'm a badass. I'm owning you. You know, it's like at least I'm, you know, acknowledging I'm being moronic, but they really think, yeah, you know. And then what am I?
No, I get that from this podcast. I make jokes, and people are like, this idiot thinks that's true. It's like, yeah, they're jokes, people.
But it's like I notice a lot of these younger comics, probably, you know, 50 or so, they run out of comedic stuff, and it's just conspiracies and the Hollywood pedophile rings, and you know, it's just do you know what I'm saying?
That's my whole act is Hollywood pedophile ring. That's my go-to. It's my big closer.
All right, but that's what I like
about joking.
Kevin.
I'm joking.
He may be, you know, angry, but it's not just this all conspiracies. Like it just whatever.
Kevin's he's in his own world. He's focusing on what's on his mind for that day, and that's what he's for.
Yeah,
Speaking of Brennan, here's Peter Brennan. Friday, you coming out with anything lately? You got more books coming, which I want to talk to you about some of your books.
Well, that's funny because that expression is only a few years old to me. Are you coming out on anything? Meaning, am I going to say I'm gay? But people go, "You coming out on anything?" I got some animation coming up. That's what oh man, I love that. You know, I got an animated show. It's not out yet where, it's creative. And they asked, do you have any ideas? And
like you were saying all this stuff about YouTube. You know what's not bad for? Like now there's no more gatekeepers. If you're a comedian, you could just put your stuff out there. Now that's why everyone like ESPN is mad. Like, oh no, anyone with YouTube can come out and talk about sports. Like, yeah, dude, we don't got to go through. There's no more gatekeepers. No, you can do your own thing. Like that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
I go on YouTube. I'm trying not to because I always click these most obnoxious, hateful. I mean, I like
those are just my videos. Those are just my videos, Fred.
Okay.
Those are just mine.
Where
everyone else is nice. Mine.
All right. This is my last compliment to Kevin. At least his anger is real. It doesn't look like he's trying to work to the bro base, which some of them, it just seems so like pandering. The bro base. I like that term.
I'm gonna pull a Fred Stoller and say I'm a complete alpha. I'm an alpha. That's what I am.
Yeah.
I'm not a beta at all, man. I'm an alpha.
Oh,
I am just an alpha, man.
Aggressive.
I'm aggressive.
I don't care. Yeah. I'm I'm aggressive. I'm a bro. I'll take an ice bath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I heard you on Fred.
Aussie. Where do you have? Wait. Where do you get Australian fans from? Like, how did you build up your
It's the
fan base?
internet. Just the internet. Honestly, it's just me coming on, and Brennan's. A lot of it's like being on Kevin Brennan's podcast. I've gotten fans, and then also like because of stand up, I've gotten some fans, and then
Oh well, no. I'm just saying.
just doing other.
Which is the thing that helped. Like I know what a lot of them when they go on Joe Rogan, but oh yes, so it's I'm doing stuff for Nickelodeon. I'm also did a few parts for a new show called Moon Girl and Moon Dinosaur, something with Lawrence Fishburne in it. So I'm excited.
Moon Dinosaur.
You know
With
that
Lawrence
one?
Fishburne? No, I don't know. I don't. I know Seinfeld, which I wanted to hear this too. Oh, go ahead. Talk about Moon Dinosaur. Then I got a Seinfeld question to ask you because I heard this on the Marin podcast, and I
No,
know
it's
this. I
nothing
know this.
Again, I'm an old guy. I'm from the generation. You try to get in acting parts. You try to get voiceovers, but then like a guy Jim Brewer, I'm naming names. Now he's part of this thing where they're mad about gay rights. He did this whole rant about pride. Why are you so proud? Shut up. Well, they've been discriminated. They have shame. So now they're being proud. It's just again a lot of ranting about. Oh yes, that's a thing. Wokeness. Oh, you woke. Oh, you're into diversity. That's my impression of the bros. I bet yeah. I saw one guy. Yeah, the liberals they care about democracy. You know that. But I love
Democracy's the worst, isn't it, Fred? Democracy stinks.
Well,
I'm kidding. I'm just joking. I'm just picking up on whatever you say.
there was that guy. I know he's big, Tim Dillon, and he was doing a rant like about January 6th. All of a sudden, liberals care about cops. It's like I know they're gazillionaires.
Let's take Tim Dillon down. No, Tim Dillon.
Well, now Jesus,
what happened outside? What's going on? Is
No,
that Tim Dillon out there? Is Tim Dillon coming for you?
But
right
I was saying to a friend of mine who's younger. She's not a friend, a nice person, comedian. I guess it's a new thing. They rant. She goes, no, there was always ranting like Sam Kinison. So, but yeah,
there's always been ranting.
Yes. But you know, his influence was Rush Limbaugh. So I see it in him. Like it's brilliant how they could just do that stuff. So no, I can't. That's why I don't have a podcast. You got to be like Bill Burr or Adam Carolla. They could just riff for an hour about the Emmys.
Well, I can't. I got a podcast. So what's that saying? So
no, that's why
I'm the anti-podcast.
I would like to do what you and Kevin do, where you have other people and people give you $2. But how do you get one of these things going? I'll do it for a bunch of 5. I'll tell you something funny.
Please do. It's about time, Fred Stoller.
It's about time. Access Hollywood some reached out. They were doing a segment about how side hustles, how people are trying to make ends meet because of the strike. And like the actors strike isn't really affecting me because I've done what I'm supposed to do. I'm lucky. The better times I've gotten residuals. Animation isn't affected by it. So I didn't really know what the theme was. So this woman, she was on this show. Now she has to work for Amazon delivering. This person has to, do catering. Fred Stoller.
They make it sound like it's the worst. They make it sound like it's the worst thing ever.
And then Fred Stoller, he has to sell cameos, greetings out of his apartment to make ends meet. No, so they have a shot at me. Look at me on if you can find on YouTube, Access Hollywood Inside Edition. They have me sitting on my stoop, like I'm doing this to make eggs to buy bread. All right. I thought it was humorous. All right, maybe it's not.
No, let's
get back to Siri. I'm just kidding.
My buddy Jesse Joyce is one of the head writers on Kimmel. And they're on strike, and he's like, I had to go back to doing stand up. It's like, yeah, welcome to my life. Welcome. Like, if I'm not doing stand up, I'm not. Yeah, like it's like the worst thing ever. But that's I did find it weird because Kimmel started a podcast, like all the writers started a podcast, and he was saying like how Ben Affleck and Matt Damon offered to pay the salary for all his writers, like while the strike was going on, and Jimmy Kimmel's like, no, don't do that. You guys don't have to do that. And I asked my buddy Jesse, because he did my podcast a couple weeks ago. I was like, how'd that make you feel? And he's like, and he had to give the political correct answer, but I know in the back of his head, they'd be like, no, this dude's willing to pay me the money I'm not making. Yeah, thank you, Ben Affleck.
I just want to say, Bill Burr, I met him. He's a really great guy. I'm not putting down ranting. I can't do it. You know, all those the ranting, but he does. No, he's got great material.
Oh, he's great.
But it's a whole podcast. But answering my own question, it's a whole world of podcasts. So you're gonna have everything. You're gonna have ranting. You're gonna have
the good thing about podcasting, Fred,
you're gonna have people punching each other.
But the good thing about podcasting, like a lot of times I'll rant about something, whatever, and then that becomes jokes in my act. So
yeah,
you get what I'm saying? Like a lot of, like, even when you were doing comedy, wouldn't you have conversations with people? You think something funny and you're like, oh shit, let me write that down.
Well, we would have the other thing where someone said, I'm going to use that if you're not, or they wouldn't even tell you they use it. You know, they did it.
And then they're on stage going, anyways.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was one of your jokes.
Yeah. One time, do you know Al Lubell?
Yeah, my name's Al Lubell. Al Lubell. I took that joke from him. I do that now. I say my name is Al Lubell.
He told me in confidence the story, some molestation and some Alberts and whatever the guy's name was, did something to him, you know, talked him into something. He goes, don't tell anyone. But no, Al. Next night he's doing it on stage, you know. You know. So, yeah.
Speaking of your Seinfeld years, because when I started out doing comedy, I would, it's when the internet was early 2000s, and the internet, I would buy this like comedy magazine. It would come out once a month. There's $10 a month. And a bunch of the pages in it was by this guy who sued you. He's apparently the real life Kramer. This guy, right. Kenny Kramer. I have no idea who this guy is. He claims to be the real Kramer. Mm-hmm. And the character Kramer was based off of him. And from the story I get, like, you stayed with him or something while he.
Yeah, I don't want to get too into this because this is like telling a story about a guy who threw a hammer at your car.
You don't want him to throw another hammer.
Now, why do I want to even, like they say, don't give in to terrorists? But yeah, the short version of the story is, I knew him, and he wrote some ranting open letter to me on Facebook, like, you knew me well, whatever this had to do with anything, but I knew him peripherally. And he heard I needed a place to stay, and I stayed in this place, but part of the deal was I
lost Fred. Freddie, come back, buddy.
Someone called. I'm very busy.
Was that Kenny? Was that Kenny Kramer right on cue?
Yes. Someone I stayed
I got a hammer waiting for you, Freddie.
And I just said some things about the Kramer reality tour I had to take, which maybe wasn't flattering, but it was comedic. People say things about me. And so it was just there may be my entertainment lawyer who handled this has sadly died last month. But he showed me
Was it a hammer? Was that a hammer that got him?
A hammer, yes. There's some. It's referenced in some.
It sounds like a wrestling
frivolous lawsuits. Like he is something where it was so convoluted. Where you said this, and he made up his own sentence out of one word. Therefore, you're saying I mock gay people, which there was nothing in any reality. So, like I said, I mean, I don't like to talk about this only because, like I said, it's like talking about someone who, I can't think of a better analogy than threw a hammer at your car when you're driving, you know, like, yeah. But there's a lot of people.
The only thing funnier if a guy throws a hammer at your car and there's like, hey man, can I get my hammer back? I just wanted to break your window. I meant to hang on to it. I meant to just hit your window.
No, there was this guy I get this in New Yorker Magazine and New York Magazine, and he got assigned to do a story about famous feuds in New York. You want to do about your? There's no feud. Again, this is like you're walking down the street, someone spits at you, calls you an antelope, and no, it's not a feud. This guy's a psycho who spit at me and called me an antelope. It's not a feud. I want nothing to do with the guy. So,
so that was they reached out to you for a feud. He called you an antelope.
yeah.
That's not even an
No, I'm
insult. Why
making
would
an
you be an
analogy.
antelope?
I'm making an analogy.
Oh,
If someone you're walking down the street spit at you and called you an antelope, this is why maybe I don't have a podcast.
what a weird insult! An antelope. I wouldn't even take that as like.
No, I'm just saying nonsense.
Yeah. Franklin
just-
Sheckler, thank you for the two. I don't even see Franklin Sheckler in here, but he's usually in
I'm
here.
just saying nonsense that, like road rage. That's what I'm saying with the hammer. It's like if someone had road rage. It's not a feud you have. It's just someone who. It's like I know you're going to get upset if I make a Trump analogy because
I don't care about Trump either.
Everyone
way.
loves Trump. All the comedians, but he's like a sniper, a bully with all the lawsuits. So that's what. They just, like I remember when I was a kid, we used to make fun of like someone would call you a name. They go, "I'm going to sue you," and you mock them because it's so baby, I'm going to sue you. And there's people that do that. Oh no, I lost everyone. Trump's the best.
No, you're fine. Freddie, what character did you play on Norm Show? They want to know. I do want to ask you some Norm stories.
Okay.
Also, I wanted to ask you. I have a few stories I wanted to ask you. Your book. Also, like, yeah. All right. I'll ask you. What did you play in the Norm Show?
I'm getting some water, but I'm.
Oh, go ahead.
listening.
Do it. I'll read some super chats while you do that.
On the Norm, I played a guy called William who was very shy and didn't talk a lot.
All right. I'm gonna say you could get water and come back. You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Peter Brennan, thank you for
brought the whole camera with me.
Yeah. He's bringing the whole thing. Fred, blink twice if you're not safe. That's what my lesson is. Fine.
Can we talk about the guy? All right. See, I'm burning this joke to the ground. The feud you had with the guy that the homeless guy who spit at you and jumped on your car.
Me?
I'm doing that joke to the beating a dead horse. Like
no, it's
all right. I'm gonna get serious. No more attempts at humor.
No, go ahead. All the attempts. But so tell me about the Norm Show, and then I want to talk to you about your book. So you wrote a book. The first book you wrote was first of all, you did a late night show on what? Did you do a late night show on 9/11 or something, or was not like it was that you?
No.
All right. Well, you did a show on something like on a night where like someone canceled or something, or a president died or something. The Challenger.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. All right. Now you're acting like I was just making this up. I knew something. I knew it could something horrible happened in American history that day, and that's night you're like doing late night on a television show. What was that like? And what show was that? The Tonight Show?
No, late night with David Letterman when the Data Space Shuttle blew up. Yes.
Said there were 2 bombings that day, but that was not really.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty. You know something? I've done this anecdote for a long time, and I never did. I'm stealing that from you.
Write it, steal it, Please do. Please do. It's not really a bombing, but still, like.
It's so obvious, and I never thought of it.
How insane was that? Like, and that's weird because that happened in the morning. But then again, they do those late night shows in the afternoon, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
But then everyone was sad. That was before the CNN scrolls like you got at this thing where, Letterman comes out because we don't mean to be irreverent, but today's a sad day in American history. We'll do the show anyway. Here's comedy of Fred Stoller.
Yeah. It's a sad day in American for 2 reasons. One,
yes.
the Challenger 2, Fred Stoller should do comedy. It's that's hilarious. That's a great story, dude.
I'm trying to keep track of who's mad at me.
That was, well, Kenny Kramer, but he's got that.
Yeah, and Tim Dillon. No, not Tim Dillon.
No,
No,
not Tim
because
Dillon.
I got to be careful because on Kevin Brennan's, I did anecdotes about someone, and then he was trying to call me yesterday.
Oh, it's probably a comic from back in the day or something.
Yes. Oh, I
Yeah.
saw the thing and I blocked him again. I thought
You block? I've never blocked anyone on my phone. Well, I got one person blocked, but he's
you know,
a maniac
Facebook
in Florida.
Facebook is like cockroaches where I thought I blocked these people and they're popping up again.
Let's see,
Making
Facebook.
comments.
I'm never on Facebook. You don't have just a Facebook fan page? Because I have a
You
Facebook
know-
fan page, but then here's what's weird. People will go to my regular Facebook, like people I
Yeah.
grew up with, their family members, and like, what? She had a birthday. You're not going to say anything? It's like, I don't look at Facebook. I'm looking.
You know, I made a mistake because I said yes to everyone and didn't want to be obnoxious and say, hey, Jim. So it was just easier to
This is a mean comment. Ray's second virginity. I could see why the Seinfeld staff wasn't sad to see Fred go. Tell the story like a
again,
tired horse. I don't know.
people make this joke where you're making money and it's like I'm on like that thing where they throw me the thing and hit me and I fall in the water. Like
you're the
you
man.
get $5 for them to abuse me. So I don't know. Again, if I knew how to set this up, I'd go insult me and just give me money, you know. But
so
yeah,
how was that Challenger set though? Like, was it actually a bad set? I don't know how the set was. I liked you when I was a kid, dude. And then the other thing I was going to say, like some of those comics that I would see in those comics, like when I was like growing up, that I would see later, like Bob Nelson. I ended up working with Bob Nelson, who would do like the Jiffy, Jeff, and all that stuff. And he did not change his act, but he didn't need to. It still worked. But part of me is like, why wouldn't you want to come up with a couple more characters? You're obviously great at doing characters. He crushed. Don't get me wrong. Rocky Laporte didn't really change his act, and he still crushed. Robert Schimmel would change his act some, and he's obviously a legend. But the one guy who didn't change his act, and it aged horribly when I worked with him at the comics, Barry Sobel, never changed anything.
Where did you work with him?
He was doing spots at the comic strip, and he's still doing it.
When was this?
This is maybe 2010-ish, 2011-ish, and he's still doing.
Barry, we've hung out. I don't know if I'd say we're friends. We've hung out. Maybe we're friends, but he could. Yes, he could.
He didn't change anything. He was still doing. I'm not the Beastie Boys or Run, and it's like I loved it when I was 12, but it's like Eminem is killing it. So white rappers are actually cool now.
Well, to me, he's sort of like the thrill seeker, where again, when I'm the thrill seeker, I said that I'm in on a joke, and then you have these Ari Shafirs. Oh yeah, screw you! I'm not gonna be PC. So he's like thinking he's Vanilla Ice, Barry, but again, I shouldn't judge because it's hard to evolve. I have to say, you probably have a point. A lot of 80s and 90s people, and this. I admit it, as a stand-up, maybe I didn't evolve. I did weird non sequitur one-liners, but then you have like Emo Phillips who's still doing it.
Yeah, and he does change stuff because I worked with him, and he did like keep writing stuff. You know who did not age well? I worked with her and she did not do well. The lady he married, Judy Tenunu, didn't age well.
Well, she really didn't age well because she died recently.
She died, yes. She literally didn't age well.
She
literally didn't age well.
She really didn't age too good.
But I mean, her act did not age well.
The 80s, a lot of us didn't. I mean, when I say evolve, like now it's like when you said a cheerleader or what's the other one, a conductor. What was your expression?
Pep rally, like you're like a
conductor. Bert Kreischer, takes his shirt off and wrestles with people, and and jumps up and down and does Moni, and they clap. Yeah, I don't. No, he does good jokes, but I'm just kidding. But yes, a lot of them it's about crushing. But yeah, I'm an old guy. We're from the era where you like to quote jokes, and but again, evolving is I
But
would be
Norm
killing.
evolved. Norm came from that thing, and
You're
Norm
right.
evolved. He
You're
wrote
right.
new
You're right.
jokes every time I saw him. It was like new jokes.
Right. But he didn't. No, I'm not. Yeah, you're
You know
right.
who doesn't write new jokes? Kevin Brennan. Hear that, Kevin Brennan?
He doesn't write new jokes.
No, he retired. He said he retired. I told him I'll
Oh
write
yeah,
jokes for
yeah.
him so he goes back on the road.
So Barry Sobel, he's my age, and he's still like walks around with the pants down below his ass, like he's from third base. That's a reference
Yeah, I
no
remember
one will know.
third base. I know third base. The gas
You
face.
do?
Give him the gas face.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's like third
Give
base,
him
the
the
pants,
yeah.
and
Pop goes a
he's
weasel because a weasel goes pop.
yes, yes.
Goes a weasel because a weasel goes pop.
Yes. So I actually when I
You
tried
made a
with
record and you looped it. You looped it. Now you're
yep,
looking
yep,
kind of
I love them.
stupid. Yeah, I love third
But when
base.
stand up, I quit a long time ago. Again, you can't dabble. I got tired of walking around with the notebook. It was never my passion. I did some things.
You know what you do now, Fred? You text yourself. I text myself jokes. That's what you do. And also put them on Twitter. And then, like, if I'm doing new jokes, I'll like go through my Twitter and I'll be like, okay, that's a new joke idea.
You know, I don't need the roar of the crowd. No one ever roared at me that I think of it. But no, it was never my passion. But what am I trying to say is that Sobel, I forgot, but it doesn't matter. But no, evolving. So
You
like
didn't evolve, yeah.
I stopped, but then Norm asked me to open for him for like almost a year every weekend, and I did it thinking, all right, fly, hang out with Norm, eat meals with him. But my act felt like it was like Three Dog Night. Like my jokes were older than many people in the audience, and I said I had no
That's a
shame
David
of this.
Tell. Yeah, that's a David Tell joke too. Like that joke's so old. That joke's so old. They can vote.
Yes. Well, my joke, yeah, it was really old. But I didn't, I said, just let me see if I miss it, enjoy it. And unless you're really, I would try so hard to come up with new jokes, but I think there's something I haven't even come across yet. That's probably what I'm supposed to do creatively. And I was in a comfort zone with stand up, then guest spots on sitcoms. But yeah, again, I stopped trying to explain to people why I don't love stand up, but don't want to do it. I took it as far as I could take it, got as good as I could get, and
No, it's something you gotta want to do. It's like if you want to be a good basketball player, you can't just go out for the games. You got to practice too. You got to play like 5 days a week. You got to practice.
Absolutely.
Even like if I don't do stand up for like 8 days, that 9th day, I'm like, all right, it's like it's back in warm-up mode.
Bill Burr, they'll go to every place, and they love stand up more than anything. And yeah, it's it's sort of like I remember when I was doing stand up. Speaking of Barry Sobel, he helped out Tom Hanks for a movie Punchline, and Tom Hanks hung out at the clubs to get the feel of it, and he even developed not a great but an okay routine to know what it's like. And then he stopped doing it because, all right, I had that experience. I did stand up, and I did it in a movie. Not that I have Tom Hanks's options, but I thought
yeah, he didn't run about.
It's something
turns out Forrest Gump was on the horizon.
Well, yes, I did. It's like something you did in high school. Why do you have to do the rest of your life? Again, if you love it. Again, it wasn't my blood. I never watched stand-ups going, I want to do that. It's just something I fell into. I wasn't good. I wasn't good at Seinfeld.
Good. I liked it.
I suck at everything. No, sorry.
No.
Sorry.
Read a couple of these. Ray's second virginity. Thank you for the super to thank you. I like Pulper's super chatting to thank people that super chatted before. Ray learned everything he knows about comedy from a crazy guy in a $10 magazine. He's talking about the Kramer Hammer guy. I didn't know it like ended bad with. I just saw that he like tried to sue you. I get it. You can't talk too much about that.
He's a great guy.
He's a great guy when he's not suing you. When he's not suing you, he's fantastic.
I mean, there's a thing called. It's funny because like you could say something about someone in a book, and except for like big bestsellers, a lot of New York Times bestsellers they only sell about 3,000 to be like a bestseller. And you think like you could go on a podcast and talk stuff, and more people will hear it than in a book. But people go, it's a book, it's like a Bible, it's out there. What'd you
It's
say?
documented. No, it turns out it's documented in podcasts.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, people like give me shit about something like on podcasts. Like I don't remember like exactly what I said. Like everything's under oath. Apparently there's a judge. We lost Fred again. Fred went away. Come back, Fred. Ray P. Ray, thank you for the $5 Euro super chat. He's a good guy. Come on back, Fred. Hopefully we get Fred back. Yeah, we'll ask when Fred gets back. But maybe that's why Fred walked away. But yeah, I have other stuff to ask. I want to ask him about his book. And apparently Norm stole his jacket. You back?
Hey.
There
Yeah,
you are.
this really annoying comedian is trying to call me on my Facebook app, and I thought I blocked him. It's because of Kevin Brennan. All right, let me see if I could finally figure out how do I get rid of this guy he's so annoying, and I don't want to talk to this guy. Again, I don't have reverence. Oh, Jesus, sorry. What was your question?
Someone asked, what are we on the notorious Fred Stoller versus Orny Adams beef?
I don't know if there is one. I bump into him. He's a very nice guy. Maybe I made a comment because of that movie Comedian, which isn't fair. So I don't have any beef with him.
I don't know Orny Adams at all, but
you got to
think.
Yeah.
I did think he was portrayed like not in a favorable light in that movie.
But, all right, I'm trying to get rid of this guy. I can't figure out how to block him. All right, whatever.
It's all right.
I'm sorry. It's just
you look good.
I don't know the analogy of the most annoying person, but I'm sorry. I'm going to concentrate. He just screwed everything up by
It's all right. Pulper 80, thanks for the second $5 Euro super chat. Yeah, the Orny Adams things. If you want to talk about it, great. If not, no worries. I don't.
No problem with Orny Adams. If someone could fill me in on, maybe they make beef.
Yeah, what's the? By the way, you don't seem like a guy that would be angry at a lot of people. So,
in my life, I only yelled and cursed at one guy.
Only cursed at one guy.
Person. To make a long story short, this is comedian way even before me. You wouldn't know who he is, and I used to like talk to him, bump into him at the Grove. We had the same agent. We'd talk. Then
I never had an agent. I've never had an agent. I've been on. I wrote for shows. I've been on TV a few times. Never had an agent. I don't even know how to get an agent. No, nor do I care. Like, I mean, if an agent can help me, great. But never.
So basically, I bumped into him at a rap party for the original Crank Yankers. Oh no! I'm going right to the part where I cursed him out. I saw him in a bookstore, and I said, "Hey, Charles." Okay, it was Charles Fleischer, and I said, "Hey, Charles."
Charles Kreischer.
You know him?
Yeah, I know who he is. He was Roger Rabbit.
Yes, and I kept saying, "Hey."
Yes.
I said, "Hey, Charles." I said it 5 times. And I just walked away like he wouldn't acknowledge me. Then I see him. I go, I'm not allowed to curse. I know in this. And he said, "Hey, dude, I was talking to a girl and I didn't know her name. Like, I want you to whatever." So no, I haven't cursed out too many people. But there are people like that guy Jimmy Dore once did a whole rant how he met me at a party and I was I wasn't nice to him. I have no idea what he's talking about, and it upset him.
For
So
real? By the
yeah,
way,
I'm not
when
like
when
cold.
I
Like
first started doing comedy, one of my first road gigs was emceeing for Jimmy Dore, and he was like the nicest guy, but he could get mad at crowds if they didn't like get him right away. He would be not. And I thought Jimmy Dore is great. I like Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore
like
was like super cool to me when I was young in comedy, and now he's like blowing up a podcast. But
new
I can
podcast.
mend that bridge. I can mend that bridge, Fred Stoller.
Oh, there's no problem. I don't know about podcasts. I don't listen to it. I know a lot of people do, but this woman I don't talk to anymore. She's addicted to it. She's always giving him Patreon money, and she's been this conspiracy, paranoid, the government. I don't know what he talks about on the show. I don't. I shouldn't blame Jimmy Dore, but
I shouldn't play it.
I don't know what he
I
talks.
don't know. I don't know him from anything, but Kurt Metzger's on his show a bunch, and I worked with Kurt Metzger maybe like 6 months ago, and he was texting with Jimmy Dore, and he goes, "I go Jimmy Dore. I go, he was cool to me when I was starting, and he's mentioned my name to Jimmy Dore, and he goes, oh, I like Brady Vito. Tell him I said hello. Now it surprised the hell out of me. He knew who I was because like I was like a nobody like open micer just emceeing around the Midwest like back in 2004 or 2005. So I thought that was pretty cool that Jimmy Dore knew who I was. So, and I was horrible. Like, everyone's starting out. I mean, I'm sure you were good. You were getting on TV when you were a kid, but I was doing Crocodile Hunter impressions, wearing wigs in my pants. I was horrible, Fred. It was.
Oh, well, I'm Bob. Here, got $5.
I was doing VFWs in just middle America. Just yeah. Pauper thanking people for super chats. I appreciate that. Where did you find this white supremacist, Ray? He's not a white supremacist. He supports the blacks. He supports the blacks. He's
What did I make it?
they're just no, they're just they're just Tukey OC. Thanks for the. I wanted to ask you this. So back to your book. So in your book, so the first time you did the book, you because I listened to this on Marin, you submitted your book, and then they were like, we need it more spicy. We need it more spicy. And they wanted your sex stories.
Right.
And then you had a story with Kathy Griffin, and you were like, all right, I guess I'll. And then you thought she'd be mad at you. If I'm getting this wrong, let me know. And she wasn't mad at you.
11.
What's that?
And this happened on 9/11.
That was on 9/11?
Like the other joke about the Challenger.
It was, oh. I think now because you're on your phone, it's like
I want to be I think I'm a nice guy. If I'm being annoying,
no, you're not, dude. You're not.
So yes, they wanted something salacious. So I forgot. I threw in a one night stand with Kathy Griffin. Yes.
And you thought, if I'm getting this wrong, and then I'll let, but you thought she'd be upset about that, and she was cool with it, and then
I think
she wanted.
I think she was cool at first, but I talked to death about it on podcasts. And I think like I did it on Norm's podcast, and whenever people got mad at her because she did the Trump head thing, it would always get back to me on Twitter like you're so pathetic. You slept with Fred Stoller, or or they would put her down by putting me down. Like, oh, look who you were with. I hate you. You put Trump down. You deserve that you were with Fred Stoller. So I was attacked viciously by what she did too, and I'm sure she hated it. So I'm sure Kathy Griffin is watching this. Kathy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that anecdote to death. But it was, people loved it on the Norm show. So yeah, it was just it was 1992, just a one night stand and a little crazy.
Who dumped too, or who didn't return the message of the other person, or you were both like it was just one night.
There wasn't texting back then, but so it was good when she said right to my face, "We're not a couple." Like us.
I've had that happen to me too, Fred. I've had that happen to me too.
we're not a couple. Like, what am I doing? Get me out of here. So, that was she ghosted me to my face or whatever. Yes, but I
The
work and I like her, and she threw a hammer at my car.
everyone throws a hammer. That's like the running gag. Just a hammer at the car.
Dude. Oh, this guy. I don't know how to do tech stuff. I'm trying to block this guy from messaging me on Facebook.
If you go to their profile and you hit block.
I tried blocking him. Block. And then it says, learn more about blocking. No.
More about blocking.
Block him on message.
What is this? What is this? A karate class? Learn more.
Do you know Amy Stiller?
Amy Stiller. I don't know her personally, but I know who she is. Yeah.
Gotta say, do not give him my number. All right. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm distracted. It's like trying to do a podcast that once happened, and some ex was texting me mad things, and it's like, oh no, but it's not the same. You're a very nice guy, I could tell. I'm sorry if I'm.
No, you're fine.
I respect comedians, and but yeah, I don't. It's good not to hang out with them too much, and like going to green rooms. It's too much. I tried doing the Comedy and Magic Club, and you're in the green room, and one guy's always telling a story about taking his shirt off in a parking lot, beating everyone up. I joked to him, Eddie F. Do you know him?
Yeah.
Bored, and I beat the guy up. I said, "Come at me," and everyone's telling different stories. All right, comedians. Sorry.
Eddie It beat somebody up. He doesn't look like a dude that would can beat people up.
I'm not thing with. He used to be skinny. I remember when he was on what's it called? America's Got Talent, or the other one with Jay Moore, and
right.
His joke was, "Oh, I look like Clay Aiken," but then I guess he became bro-ish, became a bro guy. Same with Greg Rogel. We used to look a lot alike. He was thin, and then I guess he got muscular.
Oh, really? I remember him as a little guy. I don't remember him ever being big.
He's big, yeah.
So also another story from your book, Norm Macdonald. I want some Norm stories. If you got any, that'd be awesome, because I think he's like one of the greatest comics to ever exist. But so you put it in your book, like they needed some stories, and you were like, Norm Macdonald stole your jacket.
Yeah, it was just like he didn't like intentionally, but we were playing tennis, and he took it from my car thinking it was his or his son's. And I go, Norm, you took my jacket. You in that jacket, like he would taunt me. You don't need it. It's a crappy jacket. Norm, give me my jacket. So it was just like a silly title of a chapter. Norm stole my jacket. It's yeah, he would just bust balls and stuff. No, we were friends.
How'd you meet Norm? What was your capacity of getting to know each other?
In 1989, he came into the Improv his first time, and we just at the clubs, and then he got SNL. I only got that a few years later, and then when he got let go, somehow we just were playing tennis and throwing rackets, and we would fight with Artie. It was a lot of fun, hang out, see movies. So yeah, I just knew him since '89. So knew him a long time. We a lot of experiences together.
Are you now on a different phone? Or are you on an iPad or something?
I'm still on the phone. I forgot. Maybe the lighting is different.
No, it's like the sound's different. Like now it sounds like there's like a.
Sound okay on now?
Yeah, you're a little bit. We'll get ready to wrap up here in a little bit. I just wanted.
Sorry that I got so rattled by this most annoying person. It's like a cockroach, like a horror movie. I I'm sorry, Ray. I hope I didn't upset you that I didn't tell good stories. I,
No, you're fine. I get it how you can't tell some stories. Some stories got you in a weird spot. Like you can't mess with the law. Like you got these cases hanging over your head.
I yeah, no. I'm not upset. I'm just like I'll try to keep it positive. It's been okay. What are the questions that you have?
I'll see what Ray, leave and maybe go watch an MLC episode with Fred where he can get to answer all these questions. We'll take it from here. Oh, they're saying you answered more questions on Brennan's show than here. They're saying you're holding back on me, Fred. I don't think you're holding back on me. I'm blaming that guy that's harassing you with
Maybe it, maybe it's that. Yeah, I told a lot of the same stories, and it's like you're this. You got them the second show. That's a bad analogy. What? Now I feel like I'm uncooperative.
No, you're fantastic. This is awesome regardless.
How does he know this story?
That's what they're asking you. They know you. You have fans here. Did a girl ever go over her Conan set on a first date with you?
Yes. What happened was I won't mention her name. It was our first date.
Wasn't Kathy Griffin.
No. It's so we went to this place, and she was getting ready to do the first Conan show. You know, the 12. Well, wait, the 12:30. That was the wait. He had just that, and then very briefly the Tonight Show, then TBS. So his first show, and like she goes, she's flying to New York, and I said, kidding around, I go, you want to do your set for me in the restaurant? She goes, okay, and she's doing all these characters and well, whatever. I don't remember, but just it was a lot of characters and noises, and it was weird. Then it's like, come with me. You want to come with me to the improv? Watch me rehearse the set that I just did. And all right, and I had stopped doing stand up at that point, and I was already um, not loving going back to the clubs. It's just something I've done, and just being like the date of the comic doing her set. It was, but yeah, again, I feel I'm bombing. Did I tell this story better on another podcast? I don't know. Ray, I owe you. See, I'm a people pleaser. I'm a traumatized people pleaser, where I feel.
How did set go? Did you do well on Conan? Did you hang out again?
We had one other date again, which was not good.
Not good. What made it not good? Can you?
She kind of was weird, and I wasn't trying to kiss her, and she was pressed against the window of the side of my car. As if,
Was a hammer involved? Was a hammer involved? Did someone throw a hammer?
very, very nice person. And she was like, she loved trying out bits, and I think I said something like, this person I know. Oh, what? Sorry. Always like would call me up and try out bits, and I said, I just say that's good. I don't tell her the jokes make no sense because you're passive aggressive. We need to try out jokes. I go, okay, I'm sorry. You want to try out jokes on me? Yeah. And driving her home, she's doing again more characters. Again, I this is as good as I could tell this story.
No,
Ray.
Is it? Is she like relevant now?
Yes.
Oh, she is. Okay. And
She's
she
a
did
very good
characters.
person. Yes.
Can you say a sitcom she was on, or did she ever get on a sitcom, or?
I don't think so. She's
But she's still a comic. Is it? All right. I don't want to guess a name, but I want to.
Very flattering things. It wasn't disastrous. It was just odd.
Now I'm curious to know who it is because I got a few guesses.
I will tell you off this thing.
Okay, all right.
I always, any podcast I do, I regret. I go, I got to tell you something about Norm. He was, for whatever he was diplomatic. Like, we'd hang out and he would tell me stories. I mean, people he thinks are hacks, stupid, just bullies. And then, hey, he's the best. He's the great one. When he, on, like they would ask him in an interview, what do you think of so and so? She's great. He's great. And he, so then I see, on YouTube all these comments. I got a Norm story when I did weed with him, and I'm going, Norm could not stand this person, and they're making like they were friends. So I'm trying to get more diplomatic, smarter.
More diplomatic. I think you're a nice guy.
And most of these people I have no problem with, will accept, those other ones. But
Charles Fleischer and this guy that's calling you.
oh, the guy's just annoying. He is the most annoying. It's like I have no problem. I don't hate the guy, but he's annoying. He is annoying, and he's not someone anyone heard of. Even though I talked about him on Kevin Brennan's podcast,
Yeah.
but I don't want to give him the satisfaction again.
Are you holding your phone while you're doing this?
Yeah, let me put it back in the thing.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening. Like
yeah. Well, basically,
like that noise.
He was like, I was on that Inside Edition, and he keeps calling people. Well, Fred is destitute. I'm worried about it. Like, could you believe how bad he's doing? And God, thank you.
Paul, he's thanking them for the Ray and Fred. Sounds like a podcast that reviews old gay porn. It's a shot at both of us. They're saying we're reviewing old gay porn. Still, one of the best jokes is David Tell's joke. Like, I'm watching so much porn. I'm watching gay porn. I pretend like it's two straight guys that got there really early.
David Tell, yes, he's got a lot of great jokes. Porn, he loves porn. He had that show. He's got great jokes.
Fred, you still got the Nikes. You got opening for Norm.
Wait, is Peter Brennan the same guy over and over?
I think it is. He's a fan of yours. Thank you. Yeah.
I'm curious who he is.
And Pulper's thanking them all for their super chats.
Actually,
so thank you, Pulper.
Me and Norm were on a plane. Someone recognized us, and he worked for Nike, and he sent free Nike sneakers, except now I'm a size 10.5. So if you're the guy, but you work for Nike, thank you, and I could use more. Except, but yes, thank you. Yes, I got free Nikes working with. Another Peter, do you still got the Nikes? Okay.
Yeah, that's the same one. I just put it back. Ray P. Ray. It's a play on my name. I don't. Fred, remember exactly where he was when the Columbia disaster happened, getting his late night suit dry cleaned. Is that true? Oh, yeah, I think we talked about that.
Yes. Remember where he was? Columbia. What's the Columbia again? Space shuttle?
Yeah, that was the Challenger. I think it was the Challenger.
Right.
That Challenger. So Columbia, Challenger, it's all the same. I remember, like, I was a kid and we were in school and we watched a Challenger and I didn't even know it blew up. I just remember us all being in there, like in the auditorium watching it, and then them hustling us out. And like, I didn't even know something bad happened.
That's what happened with this podcast. People hustling out.
Something bad. Ouch. Thank you, Pulper, for thanking everyone for the super chats. I like this Pulper guy. He's a good guy. Peter Brennan, Ray, did you ever watch Buck Naked Tennis?
Wait a minute. I would pay to know who Peter Brennan really is, because
he's a fan of yours.
He must be my cousin, or he knows so much. I dated a woman who was in a video called Buck Naked Tennis.
She was in a video called Buck Naked Tennis?
I think I could find it. I think I still have it somewhere. A VHS.
You have your cousin's naked tape playing tennis?
Where did I...
Hopefully other people are naked. It wasn't just your cousin.
No, that was in my book. I told the story in my book where we were dating and I got a part on Murphy Brett. Well, we would watch Buck Naked Tennis and she'd jump up and down. Look, I'm acting. I'm saying words. Like, because sometimes they'd ask her a question, And she goes, I'm acting. And I go, huh? And then I got Murphy Brown and she had a tantrum. How come I never do anything real? Which was kind of sad. You do real things. And now look at me now.
I will say this: I've been in a scenario you were kind of talking about in one of your stories that I was listening to. I forget what the dinner was, but we were all it was like at a country club, and everyone at the table it was a celebrity dinner, and everyone at the table got a celebrity at their table, and it was in Cleveland. So like Hanford Dixon, the ex Cleveland Browns player, was sitting at a table. One of my Eric Grant, who's in the OJs, was sitting at another table, and people at my table like, I can't wait to see who our celebrity is. Like, who do you think our celebrity is? And I'm like, oh, they're gonna be bummed. They're gonna be bummed to hear this. I was like, yeah, I'm like, I'm also, but I didn't help because I'm like, yeah, who's our celebrity? It turns out I was. A
oh
celebrity.
yeah,
It's like, ugh. Like
I've been
I
in
was
that
apologizing. I was
I'm always
apologizing to them too.
apologizing.
Like I was also looking forward to our celebrity. It's like, oh wait, I'm the celebrity. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Is
think
ouch.
Buck Naked Tennis, I think was mentioned in my book in an anecdote. So I was
Yeah,
getting scared. Go, how do you know all these things? But thank you
you got
for
fans here,
reading it.
man. Yeah, you got fans here. A buddy of mine prepped me with some questions for you. Paul, for thanking everyone for the super chats, which I appreciate. Tukey's obliterated cervix. This guy is clearly a Nazi doing anti-Semitic tropes as mockery. Ray, this is extremely well. That's me. I'm the one doing Nazi anti-Semitic tropes as mockery. So that's me. So I apologize to Fred that I'm doing that. Thank you for the super chat.
I should be on. There's a new thing with Jim Brewer, Nick DiPaolo, and two other guys like that, where they talk about they're angry, about liberals. I should be on
What
that.
comedians are angry? I don't get it.
Wait,
Dude, I don't care. I don't care. Like, I don't care about either side. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I'm like,
but there's Nick DiPaolo. Oh, Brian Callen. These very angry guys at liberals. So I should be on that show.
yeah. Uncle Stokes is on your side. He's like, Fred, you're doing fine. It's just that Ray's doing podcasts like it's an open mic on a Tuesday afternoon at a bowling alley in Austintown, Ohio. Sure. See, these are my so-called fans, but these are my fans.
No, it's fun answering questions. This is fun. This part.
Roslinski, thank God I don't have any more rope. Yeah, no, I appreciate you being here. We can. Anything else you want to talk about? Like, I mean, dude, I'll talk more quick. I felt bad, like bringing up the Kathy Griffin stuff and the Kramer
No,
stuff,
don't
but
feel
that stuff you
bad.
can't.
Don't feel bad. No. I get to a point where, you know, I don't want to seem like I'm putting her down or, not actually. I really, this was 1992 before you were born, a long time ago. And no, you were probably born. And she was, I
I
liked
was in
like
high
the,
school. I was in high school in
yeah,
1992.
but I liked
Well, I
red
mean,
curly hair.
I'm
She was
not
very
a kid.
cute. People go, what did you do? No, there's nothing, no shame. No shame on me. And I hope she's not ashamed about me, but I'm not ashamed about her.
Not
Okay?
ashamed.
I'm
I
not
will
ashamed.
say this.
Yes.
Like, there's I had this is how long ago. This is how you know I'm old. But I used to hook up with a Washington Redskins cheerleader,
Uh-huh.
and she's still in like one of my Facebooks, like how you get like the 5 photos you get to highlight. She's still in there, even though that was like 10 years ago. She's oh yeah, now I can't hear you. I can't hear. You're silent. You're not muted. You're muted on your end. You're muted. You're muted. I can't hear you. Now I muted you. I unmuted you. I can't hear you.
I was getting a
There
FaceTime.
you
I
go.
think what happened is I put a different system on my laptop, and now I have to relaunch everything, Chrome and whatever this is, streaming garage. So it would only work on my phone. So there's getting a lot of interruptions.
Fred won't shut up about liberals. What a bore. Oh, come on, Zimbabwe and Cupcake. It's all good.
I want to
Let the
be.
liberals have it. Yeah. Let the liberals have it. They've had too much fun.
I love those bro guys. That's my favorite
No,
comedy.
it's fun. Who wins at a staring contest, Jerry or a puppet? He read your book.
This guy, if you have a podcast, Peter Brennan, I think there was, see, it's making me laugh. It's in the book about one of my ideas was Jerry gets into a staring contest with a puppet. It's making me laugh. When I was running out of ideas, there was a thing where I just wrote down any ridiculous thing as fast as I could come up with it. So this guy, Peter Brennan, I like.
Yeah, I thought it was funny, like, because I was listening to you on Marin, and like you wrote uh, the first draft, and they were like, okay, we need more this, and that. So you're like, all right, I'll talk about sex, I'll talk about whatever, and it was just, I thought it was funny. I'm going to some questions that my buddy Carlos Danger sent me. He apparently this is in your book. There was a time that Larry David went nuts on you for talking to Seinfeld cast members. Is that true? It's in your book?
Yes. Yes. No, no. Is it the same guy, Peter Brennan?
No, I mean, he might be super chatting and asking questions, but no, he's a big fan of yours. He's the reason why Brennan asked you to do his podcast, because he's the one that he's the guy that reached out to
I
you to
remember
do.
him.
He's a good guy. He's
Yeah, no, Larry sometimes snapped at me because Kramer came up, not Kenny Kramer, but you know,
not the Hammer Kramer, the other.
yeah. Now he's gonna. Oh God.
No one's suing you. You're all right.
This what the hell was I gonna say? Kramer once asked me for a storyline. He goes, "Come, go to Larry. I want to do this." And Larry goes, "What are you talking to actors for?" You know, it's don't you talk to actors? So that was the little anecdote.
And then the other, so your losing virginity story. I guess it's pretty interesting. Do you want to talk about that or not? Or not really?
My losing virginity story? I don't remember. What?
Or maybe he's saying like mine. Maybe he's like trying to compare yours to mine.
But I have this thing here. I don't even have a normal plug, so I don't want to.
I want to be like, I saved this from losing the night I lost my virginity. I've saved this ever since.
Losing my, I know the losing my power story, which just happened, and I had to plug it in.
Oh, geez, I'll let you do that. I'll let you do that. We can wrap up, man.
I'll answer questions. I think I'm trying. I think yeah, I'm running out of gas with stories. I think they don't care about any. It's only one person who knows all the stories. That's the problem. Every story they're asking, they know already.
Well, I don't know, but that's fine. But no, I love you, buddy. Do it again sometime. We'll have more fun. I'll bring another guest on too. I'll get somebody from the days when you were doing stand up, and yeah, we'll have a good time. But thank you, dude.
You know what this reminds me of? Like I remember, I did this thing many years ago called the Gate Show, where I pretended I was a security guard at a studio lot, and when people go by celebrities, I'd ask them questions like I'm interviewing them, and I got two of them are dead: Fred Willard, Bob Saget, not dead Howie Mandel, Sarah Silverman, and I remember Sarah was a little annoyed with me because I kind of wasn't. I didn't give it a script till the last minute. She didn't like it. She said it was a bummer. I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and she was kind of pissed. And we went to her place. We'll just make it easy, and it's like you knew she was sick of doing favors with people, and like, well, this is just all right. I'll do this. And I was on eggshells. I didn't want to get Sarah Silverman mad. And then after doing it, it's like, did you get what you need? it's still the people pleaser, like, where I don't want to be a jerk. I don't want to be a schmuck, you know. So I hope I wasn't that to you.
No, you weren't small.
Good guy could tell. There's a lot of comedians that are just the worst. I Yeah, I know you're a great guy, and it's funny when Jimmy Dore told some story that he was so excited to meet me, and I disappointed him. I wasn't nice. I can't picture that, but the only way I can picture that is like, let's say I'm at a party. People, hey, Ray Romano's just like you. Don't you feel bad now you're his clone? Sometimes I go, okay, get out of here. I'm not saying Jimmy Dore did that, but I could see in situations me being dismissive, like, how come you never made it? Or so there'll be questions like, hey, how
That's
Ray
my
made
family talking to me. I hear you. I've got that
it?
too. I've gotten it a bunch. I've gotten it
I
4 times today.
I could be a jerk if someone is right in my face, when they say things like, "What do you think of cancel culture?" Or what? What? Hey, what do you think the liberals? They ruin comedy. So sometimes it's the energy you're getting. So,
No,
but I
I,
could good guy, and your uncle strikes. Oh, but it's I think I told the stories that everyone asked.
no, you're fine. I got
I
a
get
buddy of mine, Ray Goots. What's up?
I distracted. I got to really. I thought I blocked this guy. I got to really figure out how to block this guy. The people are so annoying.
Why do I feel like you're talking about me? What?
Oh, yeah. Where I don't Facebook, I can't figure out how to block this guy. He's so annoying.
All right.
Oh,
Well, I love you, buddy. Thanks for doing this, man. I'll
thank
let
you,
you go.
thank you. I hope you enjoyed this, and I
Yeah.
know I appreciate
Promote the
you.
book. Maybe I'll be back. What's it called?
Maybe we'll have you back, but you
Maybe.
won't.
Oh, you're
No,
welcome back whenever, man. This is an honor, man. It was
you
yeah.
all right, this is going to get Kevin mad, but I didn't know who you were. And then I see you follow me on Instagram. I go, oh, this guy got lots of Instagram followers and more than Kevin. So,
Take that,
Kevin.
Kevin Brennan.
So I thought Kevin was the big deal in this world of
No,
two.
he's a bigger deal than me. No, trust, he's a bigger deal than me. Yeah.
But,
Yeah, he
but
doesn't do Instagram. He retired from comedy. Him and Bob Levy opened up for me on my special, and they're both like, yeah, but he's retired from comedy. He retired, and he's hilarious. He should not retire.
well, again, if I could just get questions all day uh, and make money, I would do this. But you can't dabble. Even this, you got to do it every day,
No, you got to
and
do it like,
and
yeah.
yell at Shuttering John and have drama and get into fist fights and all that stuff.
Yeah, half the people like I try not to do that, but half the people like watch me hate my guts for whatever reason. Just hate my guts to hate me. So it's like, okay, whatever.
Well,
I
maybe
and I'm not
let's
even mean. I'm not even mean, Fred Stoller. I'm not even mean.
and I hope you enjoyed this, even though I was a little tired tonight.
No, you're fantastic. All right, thanks for joining us, buddy. Where can
And
people find you? Why do you not have a Twitter?
two reasons. I got
Because
off
this
it.
guy because of this guy that keeps calling you.
I really a few reasons. First of all, I waste so much time on all these apps, and then I would like look at. I don't want to know what James Woods or Scott Baio thinks. Why am I mad at Scott Baio? Why?
Wow, you're old. You just said James Wood and Scott Bale.
But people would retweet him and go, and now I'm mad at James Woods. Why these people in my life? And like even the ones I like Christopher Titus, I like his jib or jab or where he's from. But then he's retweeting these obnoxious people. Why do I want to know what these? So I don't like Elon Musk. It's not even politics. He's just a nervy bully pig. So I got off long-winded. Yes, I don't like bullies, and there were just a lot of you just reading. You know what I'm saying? Like walking around mad about things. Yeah, so that's the reason.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me, buddy. And I hope
Thank.
to see you soon, man.
And, yeah, I'll give you a message who that woman is because you deserve it.
Okay, I won't. I'm not gonna say who that is. So, all right. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for hanging. All right.
Great.
Good night, everybody. All right,
How do you?
peace. I got it. I'm ending.